Okay, so today we're going to go over how we're going to do our next project. We're going to be building on our layer project by making a mountain scene. I'm going to show you the different layers we're going to be making, and then we'll do that together. So I have my sky, a sun, and then I have layers of mountains that I've put on top. Oops, I have two mountains on that one. Okay, well, I'll have to make sure we don't do that in the next one by accident. I find it very hard not to draw two shapes onto the layers, so I'm going to be really careful this time. And then my last layer is my signature. I want your signature to be down in the right-hand corner like this. So I'm going to show you which tools we're going to use. I'm going to go ahead and get a new sketch. So I want you to turn your new sketch so that it is portrait, not landscape, or hot dog, not hamburger, whichever one you prefer to call it. So we're going to be using a couple different tools. We're going to be using this color builder. I did do some modifications on this. I changed the size randomness, and I changed my rotation randomness. And that size randomness, if I change that, you can see that I've got bigger sizes, I've got smaller sizes. I kind of like it about here, there. And this rotation randomness is changing the rotation of the brush itself. So it's like turning the brush as you're going. So you can kind of change that around a little bit. And that's going to give you some bumpy lines up here, and that'll be great for the edges of the mountain. Okay, I'm also going to use this one for the sky. I'm going to use this smudge pen to blend the sky, and then I'm going to use this chalk pastel for the trees. Okay. The other one I used, so if you make a mistake, like if your trees get a little crazy, you can use an eraser to erase parts of them. And then I use the fountain pen to do my signature. So I'm going to start with this color builder right here, and I'm going to use this color, make it a little lighter. I think it's a little too dark. So I'm going to use this color, and I might put a couple other colors in there too. So I'm going to put this color all over here. Maybe I'll put some darker colors around the edge. Maybe make that a little bit darker, add some of those in there, because then I can blend them all together. And I'm just scribbling around right now. And then I'm going to use my sponge pen, and I've made my sponge pen really big. And what I'm going to do is just kind of use circles to kind of blend that in. And it's going to look really atmospheric, look like the sky, maybe like sunset or sunrise or something. And squishing things around. It doesn't matter what this part down here looks like, so I might move some of that color up here a little bit more. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right. And I'm going to lock my layer because I don't want to do anything else with it right now. I'm going to add a new layer. And this what I want to do here is I want to put a sun in. I don't want it to be really like super bright. I want it to be a little bit on the light side. It's going to be just like a hint of the sun. And I'm going to put the sun, I don't know, around there. Might make it a little bit more yellow. There we go. All right, done with the sun. I'm going to lock my layer, and I'm going to add a new layer. And now I'm going to pick the color I want for my mountains. I'm only going to use one color, and I'm just going to change the, I'm going to slide this up and down so the luminance is going to be changing for this. So I'm going to pick kind of a color near blue and purple, maybe a little more on the blue side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that right about there. I kind of want to go in this range right here. I don't want to be too close to this blue, and I don't want to be too close to this gray. So I'm going to kind of go along that line right there. I don't want to be bright white, so I'm going to start right here about that purple, okay? And I'm going to start about halfway, and I'm just going to kind of bring that down like this. Maybe make it a little bumpy. It seems a little bit big, so I'm going to make it a little smaller. There we go. Kind of looks like clouds right now. Then I'm going to kind of shade in down here. All right. Make it a little bit more dark. It's actually not really dark. I'm making it less transparent, more opaque. Because this is, I don't want to see too much of the sky through this. It's okay in the back because there's going to be a lot of air back there, and that'll make it look like it's further back. So then, when I'm done with that, I'm going to lock my layer, and I'm going to add a new layer. And I'm going to take this, I'm going to drag it down just a little bit to about there, just so I can see the difference. And then I'm going to put another layer of mountains, and this time I'm going to go a little bit above, cover that little bit right there. You can make them look however you want to. Remembering we're doing layers of mountains. We're going to start up a little bit high because we want the mountains in the front to still kind of be able to exist. That's a little bit darker than I'd like it. I'm going to make it a little less opaque so that it has some different variations in color. You can see a little bit right here, but I think I need a little bit more. So I'm going to lock that layer, and I'm going to add a new layer. And I'm going to make this one, pull it down a little bit more, make it a little darker. And this time I'm going to have it come in here. This one's just going to go straight down like that, like a diagonal. A little bit darker right there. A little more opaqueness, I guess. Just scribble that, maybe, yeah, go up a little bit. It doesn't matter, because a lot of this is going to be hidden later on. All right, lock this layer, add a new layer, make that a little darker. There we go. And this one I'm going to have come up like this. You want each mountain to be, each mountain is going to be a little, like each of these mountains is going to be a little closer than the last one. And there we go. Right there. That's a little round mountain. I'm going to lock this layer, add new layer. Oops. I'm just going to bring that straight down. You don't need to mess with the color palette. This one I'm going to have go the same way as this one, but it's going to be more, can't think of the word right now, steep. That's the word. So make it a little more steep. There we go. More craggy in there. There we go. Lock that layer, add a new one. Oops. Bring that down a little bit. And then this one's going to come, ooh, it's going to cover some of that. There we go. You're only going to see that little tiny bit. It doesn't matter if this is all blended in, because this is all going to get covered later on. All right. Lock this layer, add a new one, drag it down. Let's see, this one, I think I want it to come here. You see how the lightness back there of those mountains really makes them look like they're far, far away. Lock this layer, add another one, drag it down. So this one come here. And all I'm doing is I'm kind of just scribbling. But it's still looking pretty cool. There we go. And lock this layer, add a new layer, oops, and drag it down. This might be my second to last mountain. Let's see. I think I'm going to have this one come here. Let's go across more. Go. And then I'm going to lock this layer, and I'm going to add a new layer, that layer there still? Hold on. I don't see that layer. That's okay. I'm going to lock this layer and drag this one down. This is my last one. Oops. I'm on the wrong layer there. Close that one. Oh, I have 2 layers there. That's the one that got locked. There we go. All right, let's unlock this one. And then I'm going to use this. I must have gotten a new layer in there by accident. There we go. And let's do this one. Let's put this one right here. Yeah, this is going to be my last one. There we go. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to lock this. Oops. I'm going to lock this layer, not hide the layer. And then on this one, I'm going to do trees. Now, my first set of trees are I'm actually going to use a red, which sounds really crazy, but it's going to look really cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my, what is this one called? Chalk Pastel tool. And I believe that one's standard on here. I've added some new tools in here, and I'm going to show you how to do that in a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to red right here. I'm going to keep it way down here so it's this really like burgundy color, like maybe make it even a little darker. And then let's see how big this pen is. Okay, that looks like a pretty good size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically, I don't know if anyone has drawn trees. What I do is I just start from the top, and I have a little, oop, that's a little too thick. I think, oh, you know what? I bet this is set to tilt. Oh yeah, I don't want that. Let's do rotate. And, all right, there we go. Because I might have to hold my pen this way so that you can actually see what I'm doing. I don't want to change the size of it when I tilt my pen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from the top, and I'm going to just basically make like kind of a stick there. And I just kind of do these little, I don't even have to, like, I'm kind of just scribbling them in there. Like I might start by doing a couple of those. Kind of just scribbling. These kind of just look like, I don't know, little Christmas trees that I used to draw when I was a little kid. And one thing I want to make sure I do is I don't want them to all be the exact same height, because if I do that, it's going to look like I'm at a Christmas tree farm, and that's not very interesting. So I'm going to make a short one. And it's okay if you make a mistake, like, oh, look, oh no, there's a mistake right there. That's okay. Trees just kind of do what they do. If you ever watch Bob Ross has some amazing trees. All right, I'm going to make another kind of taller one. Make a really tall one in a little bit, though. The main thing is you want, like, these empty spaces here, kind of scribble over them. And we're going to scribble over the bottom to kind of make that look a little bit different. I'm going to make a big one right here. You can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to go like this. And make this tree a little bit wider down here. There we go. I got a lot of spaces in this one, so I'm going to just kind of color those in a little bit more. There we go. And I'll make a shorter one down here. Down to about there. And you can even, like, kind of bring it up a little bit. But again, I'm just really scribbling. I'm scribbling kind of fast, and I kind of don't really care where the lines go. I'll put another little, look, there's a tree right there. It's fine. The guy there. All right, so because I want this part down here to be a little bit darker, a little more colored in, I don't want to see as much of those mountains back there down here. I'm still going to see some of them, like there's going to be more trees in the front of this, so it's okay. I just want to check and see if I'm happy with how these trees look. Yeah, they look pretty good. I mean, they're a little sloppy, but that's fine. So I'm going to lock that layer. I'm going to add a new one. And these are going to be my green trees. Now, we don't want to make them too green. If I do this, look what's going to happen. It looks totally fake. So I actually want this to be really, really dark, like almost to the black. So almost down to that tip there. Okay. And then keep that about the same size. I'm going to do some trees in front of it. And I want to make sure I don't have them be exactly the same trees. So I'm going to kind of have them off center just a little bit. And you can see I'm just kind of scribbling them in. It's okay. All right, and then I'll have one big one. It might cover that tree behind it. That's okay. We know it's there still. Let's scribble that in a little bit, maybe make some sticky outy parts here. Yeah, there we go. And again, we're going to go over this bottom part just a little bit. And I'll have a short tree right here. Medium-sized tree, and maybe over here at the edge I'll make a tall one. But in general you want these green trees to be a little bit shorter than the other ones. So I'm gonna make a really short one right here, just a little dinky guy. Dinky guys are the coolest. How cool that guy looks. Yeah, maybe a taller one right there. Actually, that tree might be my favorite one. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. I'm going to make sure that this is a little more scribbled in. Just down here at the bottom. Okay. There we go. I'm feeling pretty good at that. I kind of am not liking this little bit of the tree, so I'm just going to come in here with my eraser. I like this eraser, or this hard eraser right here, because I can make it really precise on the edges. I made it really small right here. And we'll come in here just a little bit. Oops. I gotta be on the right layer. Okay. Yes, let me unlock that layer. Let me lock this one. And this is why we use layers. Because if I did this all in one layer, then I would erase some of my mountains. Okay, so let me just come in here, clean that up a little bit, see if there's any other red trees that yeah, maybe this guy just a little bit. Just come in here, make that a little more skinny right there. I'm definitely noticing that this green tree, I'll lock that one, unlock this one, I'm gonna fix right in here. And look, see if I go over to the red tree, nothing happens. I didn't erase anything. All right, I'm feeling pretty good about those trees right now. Yeah, let me lock this one, and I'm gonna put a new layer. I'm gonna go up to my pen tool, and in my bottom right-hand corner, I'm gonna write my name. Make sure it's real tiny. How tiny are you? Very tiny? Let's find out. Oops. Let's not do it in green though. Let's do it in white. Okay. And I'm all done. So that's how we're going to do it.